if I told you could have a curry, say a butter chicken, for this price right here per serving?
If you couldn't guess, we're making butter chicken today.
Okay, start off with a medium-sized bowl. Add 1 cup or 240 grams of full-fat yogurt.
Grab your average sized bowl and put 4/4 cup of low-fat yogurt because you can't find your cup measure.
Then whisk in 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of garam masala and 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of kosher salt. Whisk that together till thoroughly combined.
I don't have garam masala, so we're going to be adding a generous amount of paprika and some salt. And we're going to be whisking it till thoroughly combined.
And separately, get yourself 1.5 pounds or 680 grams of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Slice those into nice bite-sized pieces that are around 1 inch thick. As per usual, keep them even. Keep Papa happy. Simple concept.
I'm going to cut up 1.5 pounds of chicken in somewhat even bite-sized pieces to keep Papa happy.
Toss all your chicken into its creamy bath, then mix that together till thoroughly coated. Give it a little sound check, lovingly. Then just cover that with plastic wrap and let that marinate for at least 30 minutes, but ideally overnight. Granted,
Next, add our chicken to our creamy good sauce and mix until everything is equally coated. Now for the sound test. After firmly violating your chicken, you really get an appetite for rice, so we're going to add rice into our bowl and wash it until the water is clear. Or until you lose your patience because God has abandoned us.
next up, get yourself a large deep pan like a brazier or a medium-sized pot.
Our chicken has been chilling for half an hour, so we get our medium-sized pot ready.
2 tablespoons or 30 grams of vegetable oil over medium-high heat.
On medium-high heat, add a generous amount of mystery oil. I don't know why I added so much.
Add your marinated chicken in batches to avoid overcrowding and sear for 2 to 3 minutes. Flip, should be nice and golden brown, maybe even lightly charred, and sear the other side for another 2 minutes.
Grabbing our chicken, we put it in our pan and sear. And yeah, I gave up on using chopsticks.
Once all of your chicken is beautifully browned, make sure the pan is clear, then hit it with a touch more oil.
Yeah, we'll do that later. Look at this sexy ass chicken.
Then lower your heat to medium and add 1 yellow onion that's been evenly diced.
So I didn't pre-cut my onion, so here's a raw clip of me cutting an onion for the first time in my life.
A 2-inch knob of ginger that's finely diced, or more specifically, brunoise, for the culinary hype beasts watching.
I also didn't pre-cut my ginger, so I'll save you from having to see me butcher that too.
6 cloves of sliced garlic. Season that to taste with kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper, then cook and stir, making sure to scrape the bottom.
I forgot to buy garlic, so we're going to be using garlic salt as a substitute and some not so fresh ground pepper.
And if you have an especially thick fond like I did, that's the brown good stuck stuff on the bottom, you can add a small splash of water to loosen that.
We're going to be using holy water as a substitute to tame my fond.
2 teaspoons or 8 grams of smoked or regular paprika, 2 teaspoons or 9 grams of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of garam masala,
We already added paprika, so I added cumin and curry powder.
1.5 teaspoons or 6 grams of turmeric powder, which is completely optional. Then stir that together and let those spices toast for about 1 to 2 minutes.
It is my firm belief that optional translates to money saved. Thank you for listening to Brokology.
A 14-ounce can of good quality crushed tomatoes, swirl around 2/3 of a cup or 160 milliliters of water in that can, then dump it back into your pan, less wasteful, and you need the water.
I tried to open our can, but it ended up breaking the can opener. I guess you can say our can opener is a can brokener. Anyway, I managed to persuade the can to open at the cost of my spoon.
Stir together until everything is evenly incorporated.
I added the crushed tomatoes into our pot and stirred until evenly incorporated.
You can use a hand blender to get it a little smoother, but believe it or not, I won't roast you if you don't use one.
I actually had a hand blender lying around. It didn't help that much, but it did make a rad sound.
Now once that's nicely reduced, add your chicky back to the pan, distribute throughout the sauce, and let it simmer another 3 to 5 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through and hot.
Next, we'll add our radioactive chicken and let it simmer till you can't get food poisoning. Now for the moment of truth. Money shot.
Favorite part. Pour in 1 cup or 240 milliliters of heavy cream.
Look at the creamy streamy, Papa like.
Is anybody very uncomfortable right now? Or very
And just stir all that together, bring it up to a light simmer, then reduce the heat to low and let it simmer for no more than about 3 to 4 minutes, stirring often. And last but not least, turn off the heat and stir in 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of unsalted butter.
Last but not least, we add our butter, and now it's time for the taste test. I can only describe the taste as cooked tomato paste with a hint of chicken, and even worse than that, not properly seasoned chicken. I would give this an honest rating of 3 out of 10. Still edible, but definitely a failure. Anyway, thanks for watching. Good night.